Okay, so we're talking about all this stuff. Nathaniel Hackett gets hired by Denver. It's my favorite hire so far.
Right.
It's not. He's a likable, good in the room. Worked with Aaron.
Sure.
I think the roster is really Tampa's before Brady, waiting to be presented to the world on a playoff stage. I love Denver's roster. Is there a feeling this morning that Denver's got a real shot at Aaron? Because you do a morning radio show, and what does your audience tell you? What do your sources tell you?
Yeah, I think so last year I got really excited, draft night, I'm covering it on the radio for us, and I get information that, hey, man, that Denver it's close to being a deal with Aaron Rodgers. And so, I don't source it. I'm just excited. So I'm on the radio going, hey, man, I'm just hearing this, right? So now all of a sudden, I'm not a reporter, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just excited, right? I'm talking on the radio. But here's the interesting aspect of that. So I get a call from Denver. I get a call from the Broncos, like I do on occasions, right? And they and a lot of times they'll call me and say, hey, man, here's the deal with the ownership situation, or here's the deal with the news that's breaking right now. We just want you to know kind of, straight up what's going on, right? So if there's any misinformation out there or this didn't happen. So I get that call, and normally it'd be like, hey, man, there's no truth to this. This is erroneous information, blah, blah, blah. You know what they said to me? Where'd you get your information? Who's your source? Are you talking to Aaron directly right now? Not, this isn't happening. It's who told you? Where'd you get this? And so I think it was already something that was in the works last year. Obviously didn't work out. He re-signed his contract, but it's prohibitive. You talk to people around the league, and they'll tell you right now that he holds the cards, because I think his cap number is like $46 million, right? And if he doesn't choose to work with them, they can't fit him plus the rest of the team underneath that situation. So if he were to renegotiate with them and say, hey, I'll give you 3 years and we'll move the money around, because it's all you can move the money. It's all funny
Shell
money,
game,
right?
Yeah.
Saints
figured out a way to get all those players.
Right.
We talk about the Rams. They use a Swiss bank.
Right.
But they just figured it out.
Right. They just figured it out. So I really believe that, it's in Aaron's hands, and I don't buy into. I don't think as an uber competitive, you're not a type A competitor. You don't sit there and think, oh gosh, I don't want to go to the AFC West because Mahomes plays there and Herbert plays there. See, that's
I think
Carr.
that. I mean, listen, if that was the way people thought, you could make the argument. If I was a women's basketball player, I wouldn't want to go to UConn because they've got 4 All-Americans every year, and I'm going to have to compete. I could go to any other school and be dominant. If I went with Gino to UConn, would I get on the floor? But I think if you're great, you want to play with great. And I think if you're great, you want to compete and get the most out of you. And so that's why guys go to coach in the SEC with Saban. It's a gauntlet, but you're going to get the facilities and the commitment. So I get it. I think Aaron is too great and confident to be bothered by Derek Carr and Mahomes. And I think he just would say, look at these weapons.
Right. I think there's that aspect of it. I think the other thing is, wait a minute, I'm fixing to be the 2-time MVP back-to-back with my 4th MVP. I'm afraid to compete.
I talked to RG3 the other day. He said, you start looking at all these teams. I thought it was a really good point. He goes, everybody else has a second. Aaron's got Devontae. And then Stafford's going, I got OBJ.
Right.
And look at these two back. And then you start looking at Brady. Oh, Chris Godwin and AB. And Green Bay can't afford another weapon. And I think that's a reality of the financial place they're in. Okay, it's Mark Schlereth. He's going to be off here mowing his lawn in about 15 minutes.
Right,
by the way, USC has landed Caleb Williams. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.